those of Paltalk.com, AVM software, or its advertisers.
News Talk is online. News Talk Online is a production of Paltalk.com, the largest multimedia interactive program on the internet with more than 4 million unique users on demand on iTunes and on YouTube. And, oh yeah, our good friends at CRN Digital Talk Radio distribute us to cable systems serving an additional 12 million households. I'm your host, Gary Baumgarten. Let me get this programming note out of the way first. At 10 o'clock New York time, in 5 short hours, it's time for another edition of Why Hasn't He Called? With professional matchmaker and Lifetime reality TV show star Matt Titus and his beautiful host, wife and co-host, New York television journalist Tamsin Fadal. They will be here talking about your love and relationship and sex questions right here in Paltalk Studio A. That's at 10 o'clock New York time. Simon T. Bailey is my guest for the first half hour of News Talk Online on Paltalk.com. He is an internationally known speaker, author, and consultant, a leading authority in helping individuals and organizations release their brilliance. In fact, he uses the diamond as an example of how one can be shaped. A diamond from carbon becomes this beautiful object. He's the founder of Imagination Institute, an organization dedicated to building the world's most valuable resource, its people. He's got a new book out. It's called Release Your Brilliance, the 4 Steps to Transforming Your Life and Revealing Your Genius to the World. Simon T. Bailey, who normally charges big bucks to talk to people, is here to talk to you for free, so everybody take advantage of this opportunity. Simon Bailey, welcome to News Talk Online on Paltalk.com.
Thank you so much, and how are you today, Gary?
I am terrific. Oh, they're already asking me in text in our virtual auditorium, did the book help me? Well, I don't know. Maybe a little bit. I think I feel a little more confident today than I did when I sat down and read the book, although I have to warn you, this isn't a quick fix that you read the book and suddenly walk out a transformed human being. It takes years of working probably to get there. Isn't that right, Simon?
It does, absolutely. That's one of the things, and I'm glad you picked up on that, because brilliance is a process, not a one-time event. Brilliance is a marathon, not a sprint.
There you go. Sounds like you've got these little sayings down. Should we write that down? Brilliance is a marathon, not a sprint. You're an interesting case. You were born, I believe, in Washington D.C.
Actually, Buffalo, New York.
Buffalo, New York. I'm sorry, but you were born in an inner city community. You were told that you were a product of your environment, an African American man in a society where African American men were not expected to succeed, surrounded by crime and other social problems. And you kind of shouldered that burden for a long time. And then there was a life-changing transformation and experience, some guy that you met, a life coach. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I met Mark Girona about 10 years ago, and he asked me one day how I was doing. And I was kind of like, woe is me, the sky's falling, why is everybody always picking on me? And I told him if I had white skin, blonde hair, and blue eyes, it would be very easy to succeed in America. And he just kind of looked at me and said, like, what in the world is your deal? And he said, you need to get over it. And I said, yeah, it's easy for you to say, you're a white man. And he said that when he and his wife first got married, they adopted 2 young African-American boys, and they told them what they could be instead of what they couldn't be. And he said, you weren't born to fit in, you were born to be brilliant. And when he said it, it just unlocked something in me, and I could stop crying over spilled milk, it's water under the bridge, basically get myself together and stop playing the victim role.
Well, I actually blame the black community for this attitude more so than the white community. And I will tell you why. And as a white guy, when I say something like this as a white guy, I'm subjected to potential criticism. And please have at it if you disagree with me. But I use as an anecdote often to make this point. two schools in Detroit where I grew up in adjacent neighborhoods, same socioeconomic inner city, crime-ridden, drug-infested communities. And in the one school, the principal just said, you know, let's just keep passing these kids. They're never going to learn. They come from homes where there's no father. They come from homes where they come to school without having had breakfast. This is what they gave us to work with. We don't have enough school books. We don't have enough toilet paper. All this kind of whining and whining. And she was right about all this. And guess what? The kids did not excel. The next school over, there was a very strong African American principal. And he said to these kids, this is BS, you will succeed. And you know where those kids succeeded? Not in athletics, where you know many of the inner city schools tend to show their abilities, but in academics. They won the spelling bees. They won the math competitions, not just in the city of Detroit, not just in the state of Michigan, but nationally. He insisted to these kids that they could succeed. And you know what? They did. These are the same kids coming from the same pool as the adjacent school and schools, and yet his kids succeeded and the other schools' kids did not. To me, that taught me a great lesson. And that lesson, Simon T. Bailey, is it's all in the mind.
Absolutely, for sure, for sure.
Oh, you agree with me? Excellent. Well, I'm glad you do. I kind of thought.
No, I do. It's definitely in the mind, and people have to have a paradigm shift in their thinking before they change their lives.
I agree, and I think society has to have a paradigm shift in thinking, and I think people are starting to move in that direction. I certainly hope so. We have several callers that are waiting to talk to you. A guy named Bari is joining us, and he's in Arizona. Bari, welcome to News Talk Online on Paltalk.com.
Hey, my question is, how you doing, Gary, by the way? My question is, my question is, do you think I'm trying to change my life because I'm in the gutter of my whole life, my whole existence? I'm at the beginning phase of becoming an adult and I'm not doing too well. Do you think by dressing more business casual that it will have an outlook on my whole perspective on me and maybe change my life that way?
Well, first of all, it's one thing to change everything externally, but if there's been no transformation and shift internally, then you really haven't moved forward. What my recommendation would be, if for you that is a start, where you might change your outward appearance, but also work on the inside simultaneously and really begin to ask yourself some tough questions. Where have I been? Why am I here? What can I do? And where am I going? So as you begin to answer those questions, they immerse you on a quest to discover the answers that are already in you. Your brilliance is inside of you. You just got to tap into it. And then externally, as you begin to transform your appearance, then people will begin to treat you differently based on the exterior, but also you do the hard work and work on the interior.
Does that answer your question, Bari, or did you have more that you wanted to ask?
No, he pretty much answered it. Thank you.
Maybe you could share with us, if you don't mind. You say that you're stumbling a little